833-852-4866. 833-852-4TOM. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kat Timpf from The Specialists on Fox News every day at 5 p.m. I've done the show myself. It's a great show. And, of course, I just did Gutfeld with her this weekend. That was a lot of fun. We'll be back with Kat Timpf. This is the Tom Shillue Show.
Call and talk with Tom now. 833-852-4866. Tom Shillue.
Grab a bucket and mop. Scrub the bottom and top. There is nothing so clean. That's my burger machine. With a broom and a brush. Clean it up for the rush. Before you open the door. Put a shine on the floor. When we finish one then, start all over again. Tell me, what does it mean? And McDonald's is clean. You deserve a break today. So get up and get away to McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
When you bring life home, don't tell the kids it's one of those nutritional cereals you've been trying to get them to eat. You're the only one who has to know.
My baloney has a first name. It's O-S-C-A-R. My baloney has a second name. It's M-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I love to eat it every day. And if you ask me why, I'll say, 'cause Oscar Mayer has a way with B-O-L-O-G-N-A.
Oscar Mayer, the first name in Bologna.
How's that?
These are cola nuts. They grow here. They're used to make cola-flavored soft drinks. These, on the other hand, are uncola nuts. They grow here too. But as you can see, they're a bit different from cola nuts. Rather larger for one thing. Rather juicier too, I'd say. Marvelous little things, uncola nuts. We use them, of course, to make the uncola 7-Up. It's the uncola nut that helps give the uncola its je ne sais quoi, you know, fresh, clean taste, no aftertaste, wet, wild, all that. Marvelous, absolutely marvelous. Just try making something like that out of a cola nut. Why, it's even prettier than a cola. Nuttier than a cola, actually.
The working day out here stretches from sunup to sundown, but there's always time for a Marlboro, the cigarette that gives you flavor, rich and full.
You get a lot to like with a Marlboro filter, flavor, pack, or box.
Come to where the flavor is. Come to Marlboro country. And now there's something new in Marlboro country. A fresh new cigarette. Marlboro Menthol Green. Just ask for Marlboro Green. Unless you're already smoking famous Marlboro Red. Red or green, you get a lot to like in Marlboro country.
From Maine to California, you sit atop a rig with 13 forward speeds and 300 horses. And when the run is over, that's when Miller time begins. Time to stretch out and head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer, Miller Beer.
How do you handle a hungry man? The manhandlers.
He's working up an appetite a manhandler can handle. Looks like my boy's grown up. He's ready for Campbell's Manhandlers, like split pea with ham and bacon. A thick, delicious soup laced with ham and bacon. A man-sized part of a man's meal.
The manhandlers.
The Manhandlers. Good.
Tom Shillue back with the Tom Shillue Show. Here, you're just covering all the issues today. And guess who I have in the studio? Kat Timpf. Kat, you're kind of checking. You're texting. You're checking your mail.
I'm looking at my rundown. I have my show at 5.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah.
You got to get the work done.
Yes.
Kat Timpf from the Fox News Specialists, also from the Greg Gutfeld Show. She is a very hard worker, and you do everything. You run around, you do all the shows, and you've got your shows.
Yeah, and I have my shows, and I do the shows, and I have a national review. I'm writing for National Review.
It's ridiculous.
Still, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know a lot of people. They see you sitting there in the show, and you might be like sardonic, and they're like, "Come on, like, does that girl work that hard?" You work really hard.
That's all I do.
Yes,
yeah,
that's
it's
all
great.
you do. So, what's on the rundown today on the Fox News Specialists?
Talking about obviously Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner.
Even though there's really not much to say, right? It's I don't know, and then the closed hearing we don't get to hear any of that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. The healthcare.
Healthcare's big.
Healthcare is ongoing forever. The Michael Phelps shark one I'm excited to talk about. A lot of people are very, very upset that it wasn't a real shark. They were like, I was waiting for this and I was so excited and the shark wasn't real. They're devastated.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's a hard time. I'd have a hard time taking anything that seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
I never expected he would actually be in there with the shark.
Right.
But you're right. I did hope it would be a real shark. I guess he's swimming against a simulated CGI
right.
shark.
And he lost by 2 seconds, which is unfortunate.
Well, is it any surprise? Sharks swim faster than people.
They do it a little more often. That's what they do.
Exactly. So, Kat, it's very interesting today. I know you came into the studio when I was doing my monologue at the beginning. We've got Jared today. We've got the healthcare. The president is tweeting about all of it. He's tweeting about his attorney general.
Yes.
And you've probably seen the rumors about Rudolph Giuliani, people saying, oh, he may be looking at him for a replacement for Jeff Sessions, right? But across the board, if Republicans are in such disarray because the president and Russia and all this stuff, why would the Democrats come out and announce their new agenda, a better deal, which sounds like Trump politics? To me, it's amazing. I feel like in all this, it's a big indicator of what's happening in politics when the Democrats feel like in the midst of what we are told is a presidential crisis and a crisis for the Republican Party, the Democrats rebrand themselves. That's suspicious to me, isn't it?
Sort of. It's also notable that what they're still doing by saying a better deal is they're saying, okay, we're better than President Trump and the Republicans right now, which is the exact strategy that they lost on in the last election.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton didn't say anything except for like, look how mean he is. That guy is so mean to me. Vote for me, which isn't a good, like I've said this before. Even if we're talking about like a student council election, kids in high school know that you can't win by saying, oh, the other guy was mean. No, that's, whining's not a strategy, but hey, a better deal. Like what? What specifically are you trying to do? And of course, this healthcare thing in particularly, perhaps more so than anything else, doesn't look good for Republicans.
Yeah. Well, here's the bullet points, I guess, for the Democrats. Their plan, their better deal, lowering prescription drug prices. It's kind of I don't know how sexy of an issue that is. We've been hearing that for years, and everybody wants to do that, right?
Yeah.
Cracking down on corporate monopolies. That's another thing that we've been hearing for years. What about?
Yeah, that's not new.
No, not new. And also, there's monopolies to me. I look at how about maybe like the school system in America is kind of a education monopoly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like government-run education.
Yes, and creating millions of more jobs. Again, kind of generic stuff.
Yeah.
But I think to me, it's an indication when they say better deal and when they announce that they're going to be more populist. I mean, they're saying it's a hat tip to President Trump. They're saying, look, we want to be more like you. You know, not in style, but in substance, we want to be more populist.
Right, absolutely. And, you know, there's still the better deal, better than Trump. I mean, even when Kid Rock announced his run for Senate, Elizabeth Warren came out saying, "Oh, this is trying to associate him with Trump."
Yeah.
And they keep doing the same things that had them, you know, losing the last election. But I think a lot of it's going to hinge on health care. I think that the Republicans really need to get it together on that.
You do. Okay, so you're one of the ones who say they have to, because I have people come in, sit down here, and they say, you know, health care is. It's a disaster. I mean, like Rand Paul. You love Rand Paul, right?
Love the guy.
You love the guy. Okay, but you've seen what he says. He says, no, we're not going to do it. I didn't come here to vote for a health care plan that a halfway there plan.
Right.
So he says, better nothing than whatever this repeal and replace is. What do you think of his?
Which I agree with to an extent, especially because the one that the last version of the one they had out there, I don't know that would be any better than Obamacare, especially when it comes to reducing premiums and those sorts of things. But the problem that I have with the let it fail and then we'll fix it.
Yeah.
Who says that the Republicans will be the ones that have the House and the Senate at that point? Who knows if they will or not? And then we'll end up with something even more left, such as single payer, which would like bankrupt the country. So I'm against that.
Yes. It's interesting, like that you can't be cocky in that way. You know how cocky the Democrats were? They said, "Oh, we'll get to the Supreme Court after Hillary went."
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
They were saying, "Let's deal with this later," and now they regret that. So, Kat, when we come back, I want to talk about the Trump's approach to this and Scaramucci, and they're fighting back. This is the Tom Shillue Show. We'll be back after the break with Kat Timpf. Give us a call, 833-852-4866.
I drink Dr. Pepper and I'm proud. I'm part of an original crowd. And if you look around these days, there seems to be a Dr. Pepper craze. I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper. Wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper. If you drink Dr. Pepper, you're a pepper too. Be a pepper, drink Dr. Pepper. Be a pepper, drink. Have it your way, have it your way, have it your way at Burger King.
May I help you, sir?
2 Whoppers, 2 Whopper Juniors, and 4 Coca-Cola. And would I have to wait long if you made 1 Whopper with no pickle and no lettuce?
No, sir. Hold the pickle, hold the lettuce. Special orders don't upset us. All we ask is that you let us serve it your way.
Oh, well, in that case, could I have the other Whopper with extra ketchup?
Sure. We can serve your broiled beef Whopper fresh with everything on topper. Any way you think is proper, have it your way.
Now, that's the way to do things. Our way.
Have it your way. Have it your way at Burger King. At Burger King.
Hot dogs, Armour hot dogs. What kind of kids eat Armour hot dogs?
Fat kids, skinny kids, kids who climb on rocks. Tough kids, sexy kids.
Even kids with chicken pox love hot dogs. Armour hot dogs.
Hot dogs, kids love to fight.
Winston tastes good, like a cigarette should. 'Cause it's what's up front that counts. And up front ahead of the filter, only Winston has the good taste that comes from Filter Blend. Filter Blend means fine tobacco's for the best taste yet. That's why Winston is America's largest selling cigarette.
Up front, only Winston has Filter Blend, choice golden tobaccos for the best taste in modern filter smoking.
Yes, Winston tastes good like a cigarette should.
Like your cigarette should.
Winston!
I'll get it.
McDonald's Big Mac. the big sandwich with a great big taste that everybody's talking about.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce... Oh, wait a minute.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. Oh, got him!
2 all-beef patty, special sauce...
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, sesame seed bun. Got it.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. I got it!
McDonald's Big Mac. Just give us the word.
2 all-beef patty, special sauce, cheese, lettuce, pickles, onions on a specially beat it.
You deserve a break today at McDonald's.
Where your dollar gets a break. Every day.
When you say but, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say but, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. When you say but, you've said the word that means you like to do it all. When you say but, it means you want the beer that's got a taste that's number 1. When you say but, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say but, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one, there's only something less, because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. There is no other one, there's only something less, because the king of beers is leading all the rest. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all. When you say Budweiser, you've said it all.
You're listening to Tom Shillue.
Here's Tom Shillue, and it's the Tom Shillue Show. We're back with Katherine Timpf. I call her Kat Timpf. Does anyone call you Katherine anymore?
Not really.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
But on the specialist, they announce you as Kat Timpf?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Kat, we are discussing President Trump and what is apparently President Trump, he's always on the verge of something. We're always in danger. There's always a crisis. And he helps this a little bit. You got to admit, Trump, you don't have to admit, I hear you say it all the time. Trump kind of gets in his own way sometimes.
Yes.
It seems that way. His flurry of tweets this weekend, when you see them, did you think the tweets were going to change when Scaramucci came aboard? Okay, there's a new communications director. Maybe President Trump is going to have a little more conventional approach to things. Did you think that?
No.
You did?
Not even for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he likes to do. It's like he's sort of stream of consciousness tweeting his feelings about things.
Yeah.
Which is something that I do. I do it from time to time, but I always regret it.
Do you ever drink and tweet?
Yes.
And you regret that?
And I regret it.
Yeah.
I'll say, and it's not like anything bad, but it's just like, not all that stuff doesn't need to be out there.
Yeah.
And clearly, I don't know, maybe, he doesn't think that way. Yeah, that's what's weird about it. I get the impulse to want to stream of consciousness tweet how you're feeling. I really get the impulse. What I don't get is not seeming to acknowledge how it might not be the best thing in keeping yourself focused and keeping the focus on the things that you want them to be on.
Although I don't know, every once in a while, I go back and forth on this issue because sometimes at the end of the week, I look and I say, oh, wait a minute. The whole reason this story got started was Trump started with that tweet and we got talking about it, and then we ended up focusing on, strangely, the thing that Trump wanted us to focus on. So sometimes I feel like he pulls people in. He pulls the media in. And so you've got the president tweeted. Where did I write out his tweets here? The one about, here we go. It's very sad that Republicans, even some that were carried over the line on my back, do very little to protect their president. This is a classic Trump tweet.
Yes.
It's full of like all the things. It's full of like a little bit of a threat. It's a little bit of self-pity and, oh, woe is me.
And the great image of him carrying people on his back. Piggyback rides.
Yes.
For who? Paul Ryan? I don't know.
But look, it's very true. I'm going to play you now. I'm going to take you through this and see if you agree with me on my theory, all right? These are the establishment Republicans. This is what they sound like, okay? This is what are the names here? This is McCain, Blunt, Graham, Collins, okay, talking about Trump.
There's a lot of aspects of this whole relationship with Russia and Vladimir Putin that requires further scrutiny, and so far I don't think the American people have gotten all the answers. In fact, I think there's a lot more shoes to drop from this centipede.
Frankly, I think the president should stop talking about it, and at this point now let this investigation run its course. It is what it is.
And the more you do this, the more people are suspicious about you and Russia. When it comes to Russia, he's got a blind spot.
He should not say anything further about the special counsel, his staff, or the investigation. I know it's hard, but he needs to step back and not comment.
Okay, so that's kind of similar to what you were saying, Kat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chill out. Enough with the tweets. Be a little more responsible. Respect the process. We hear this all the time from people. We see it on the shows that we sit on panels. They say, look, he's got to just resist his urges and his emotional outbursts on Twitter, and he has to respect Mueller, and he's got to just, like, stop, okay, and let the process play out. So that's the conventional wisdom. Now, let's look to Scaramucci, okay, his new communications director. Here he is this morning.
I worked intensely on that campaign, and I think that the Russian situation is completely overblown. I was falsely accused of things related to Russia, and I'm confident that tomorrow when Jared Kushner speaks, and I'll keep my fingers crossed in saying this to you, it'll probably be the last time that he has to talk about Russia. I sort of feel like it's scandals incorporated down in Washington, that we have to make up things about each other so that we can personally destroy each other to make us less effective as public servants.
There we go. So Scaramucci, and I said this morning, that was yesterday on the Sunday shows, on Fox News Sunday. Scaramucci says, scandal fever. He's basically just saying, this is silly stuff. This is ridiculous. There's nothing to the Russia story. At the same time, Trump is tweeting out sleazy Adam Schiff. That's what he should call it. So he's back with the nicknames.
Yep.
Sleazy Adam Schiff, the totally biased congressman looking into quote-unquote Russia, spends all his time on television pushing the Dem loss excuse. But again, it's the same message that Scaramucci has said, which is this is about the election. It's about politics. So they're saying the Russia thing, there's no collusion. It's fake. They're saying fake news, and it's about the election. Then Jared comes out today, and in his statement, he doesn't just say, oh, these are my meetings, whatever. He adds in a little of the politics stuff. Listen to Jared today.
Donald Trump had a better message and ran a smarter campaign, and that is why he won. Suggesting otherwise ridicules those who voted for him. It is an honor to work with President Trump and his administration as we take on the challenges that he was elected to face. Creating jobs for American people, keeping America safe, and eliminating barriers to achieving the American dream. Thank you very much, and I look forward to taking questions from the House committee tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay, so it's almost a unified approach. This seems like a real communication strategy. We are now going to fall in with the Donald Trump method of saying, this is fake news, it's all about politics, you guys got nothing, move on. Am I right? What do you think?
I mean, that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
I feel like the main difference between Spicer and Scaramucci is that Scaramucci seems to be not bothered by it. He seems to almost be having a good time when he's up there. Whereas Spicer was like he seemed like he was just like his whole life was flashing before his eyes and he hated it every time he was up there. I mean, again, I feel like it's just so polarized where, people either think, okay, this is ridiculous, this is nothing, move on, hoax, or people think this is ridiculous, I can't believe he's getting away with this, impeach him now.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I'm not trying to be an armchair FBI agent, and I just kind of want to wait and see. And right now I want to hear them talking about the things that they can do something about, such as healthcare and those sorts of things, and let the investigators kind of do their job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I wonder, the thing is that they I'm trying to counter that argument, because when you say it, it does make sense that they have to focus on stop the tweets, stop the denials, and just kind of like do everything behind the scenes that you have to do, and come out here and go, you know, work on, for instance, healthcare. Like, let's have him sit down and broker out a healthcare deal, right?
Even though that's really tough, if not impossible. It starts to make me think.
Yes, but the what if they have sat down and maybe Scaramucci? I'm trying to think that, you know, he had this pitch to the president. He said, look, this is what's not working. Maybe he said, look, Spicer is out there. He doesn't look like he believes in what you're telling him to say. So what we need to do is all get on the same page. And Trump said to him, you know, these guys are they're like a pit bull. They're gonna latch on, and they're gonna get information on us unless we can turn the public against this investigation. Our only hope, because he knows, he says, look, I've got to stack this high of taxes. I've got all this stuff they can go through. I did meet with Russians on many occasions as a businessman. We never did any deals, but I had plenty of meetings. Somebody's going to find something somewhere. Kislyak spoke to this guy. They're going to, what's his name? Flynn, General Flynn.
Right, but imagine if they'd said less from the very beginning how much of a better position they'd be in now. For example, if you think about like Trump Jr., and of course he's not the president, he's not even a member of the campaign. However, just the fact that he said nobody ever met with any Russians, and he said, okay, well, none that were set up, and not during the campaign. If he just kept his mouth shut and not talked about it, because for things like the email and all that kind of stuff, the thing that bothers me the most about all of this, the thing that gives me pause, is the amount of changing stories. And whenever anybody starts changing the story, I start to stop and think, okay, why? Regardless of whether it's, you know, political, legal thing, or if it's just like a friend that I think might have been lying to me, or a boyfriend. Really? Okay, I thought you were at his house, and now you're at this. Okay, where were you? It doesn't really matter. You know, you wonder. And if everyone just kept their mouths shut and said, we didn't do anything illegal, it'll find that. Then they wouldn't have the opportunity to say, oh, well, you said this and now you said this. And then I would feel better about it personally. And I'm sure a lot of other people, or maybe some other people, do feel the same way.
It's so true. Although I think part of this administration, part of the whole Trump phenomenon, is these people came into town saying whatever the heck they wanted.
Right.
And people liked it. So you have guys like Donald Trump, who you've never been able to control. And he beat all these people. He always says it. He says, remember all those Republicans?
Yeah.
They were all lined up here, and I beat every one of them. He loves the fact that he knocked them down one by one, slinging from the hip, just saying whatever came to his mind. And so it worked. And then you have people around you, like, who was this guy? Lewandowski was his original guy, right? And he said whatever he wanted. I mean, there was a Trump way of doing things, and it worked for them. And so when they came in, you had people just like, we're going to do things differently. So you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. You know, so I feel like, did you have any contacts with? No, nothing. And then later on, you say, well, you know, okay, so I met with the guy, but you know, I didn't collude with him. You know, so I feel like that's the way I am. I'm generally, you know, because we all spin, so they spun a little bit.
Yeah, I've never been under investigation for anything, to my knowledge. So I guess I don't know, but I would
you
probably.
Get those things with the boyfriend in the apartment. You know, you're always getting into that stuff, right?
You know, I never said I've never been an investigator.
Yeah, exactly. What do you guys think? 833-852-4866. That's 833-852-4TOM. Should Republicans be more loyal to the president, like he says in his tweets? Do they have to get in line? Is Anthony Scaramucci and this new communications office going to be able to get people on board? Let me know. Give us a call. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Kat Timpf.
Looking at the day's trending topics with humor and intelligence.
We're America. Soviet Union was bad. We're good.
Tom Shillue.